The post-classical period, dated roughly from 500 to 1500 CE, was characterized by the rise and spread of major religions. While civilization expanded to new parts of the world and trade between societies intensified, it was also an era of immense civilizational expansion across the globe. The medieval warm period, 10th to 13th centuries, boosted agriculture and population across Eurasia, followed by the Little Ice Age and the devastating plagues of the 14th century. The great inventions of the period, gunpowder, the gun, and the printing press, all originated in China. It encompassed the early Muslim conquests, the Islamic Golden Age, and the Arab slave trade. It also saw the Mongol invasions and the later rise of the Ottoman Empire. In South Asia, it saw the rise of the Middle Kingdoms, followed by the Islamic empires in India. In West Africa, the Mali and Songhai empires rose to control the trans-Saharan trade in gold and salt. In East Africa, the Arab city-states traded gold and spices, linking the continent to the Southeast Asia trade system. China saw the successive Sui, Tang, Song, Yuan, and early Ming dynasties. The Silk Road and sea lanes provided limited cultural and economic contact between the different civilizations of Eurasia. Civilizations in the Americas, such as the Mississippians, the Aztec, the Maya, and the Inca, reached their zenith. This was a time of immense transformation that shaped the foundations of the modern world. Before the 7th century, the Middle East was dominated by the Byzantine and Sasanian empires. It was a cultural battle of Christianity versus Zoroastrianism.
Eternal flame, protect us.
The birth of Islam in the 7th century created a new contender. Muhammad established a unified polity in Arabia. Rapid expansion occurred under the Rashidun and Umayyad caliphates. They established Muslim rule on 3 continents by 750 CE. The Abbasid Caliphate oversaw the Islamic Golden Age. They preserved and utilized knowledge from Greek and Persian antiquity. Great contributions were made to science, mathematics, and philosophy. Islamic civilization expanded by both conquest and maritime trade. Arab merchants brought both goods and the faith to Asia and Africa. Arab domination was challenged by the Seljuk Turks.
Attack! Break the gates!
Europe challenged the Muslim world during the Crusades.
Look at this chalice!
The Crusades also severely weakened the Byzantine Empire. The Mongols swept through, followed by the Turkish eclipse of the Byzantine power. This culminated in the establishment of the Ottoman Empire in 1299. North Africa saw the end of Byzantine rule and the decline of Berber kingdoms. Abbasid territory was consumed by successor caliphates, Fatimid, Ayyubid, and Mamluk. The Almoravid dynasty, followed by the Almohad Caliphate, dominated the Maghreb. The Almohad collapse gave rise to new dynasties like the Marinids. The Caucasus became a battleground for empires and then part of the Rashidun expansion. Seljuk Turks, then the Mongols invaded the region. Central Asian steppe nomads threatened settled societies and were encroached upon by Arabs and Chinese. China expanded into Central Asia during the Sui dynasty. Islam began to penetrate and spread quickly across the region. Central Asia was divided among powerful states like the Samanids and Seljuks. The Mongols succeeded them. Then Timur conquered and established the Timurid Empire.
Long live the great Khan!
This dynasty oversaw the Timurid renaissance of art and scholarship. Christianity and the Church were central to Western civilization's development. The early Middle Ages saw depopulation, deurbanization, and barbarian invasions. Invaders established new kingdoms on the ruins of the Western Roman Empire. Christianity expanded, and monasteries were founded across Western Europe. The Franks established a vast empire under the Carolingian dynasty. The empire succumbed to pressure from new invaders, Vikings, Magyars, and Arabs. It split into West Francia and East Francia, medieval France, and the Holy Roman Empire. The Carolingian era saw the development of musical notation, Neum. Kievan Rus expanded to become the largest state in Europe by the 10th century. Vladimir the Great adopted Orthodox Christianity in 988. The High Middle Ages, after 1000, saw population increase and agricultural innovation. The feudal system defined the social and political structure: lord, vassal, peasant.
Your disloyalty will not be tolerated.
Kingdoms began to centralize power after the breakup of the Carolingian Empire. The Great Schism, 1054, created a lasting religious and cultural divide. The Crusades were religious wars to regain the Holy Land from Muslim rule. Italian merchants imported slaves for household and sugar plantation work.
You concede the point or admit you're ignorant.
Scholasticism and the founding of universities were key intellectual developments. The construction of Gothic cathedrals was an outstanding artistic and engineering feat. This period saw the first sustained urbanization in Northern and Western Europe. The Mongols reached Europe, conquering Kievan Rus and invading Poland and Hungary. Lithuania remained independent and eventually united with Poland in the 14th century. The late Middle Ages were marked by calamity, famine, plague, and war. The Black Death, starting in Asia, killed up to 200 million people worldwide. It was one of the deadliest pandemics in the history of humankind. Between a quarter and a third of Europe's population perished. Sub-Saharan Africa was home to diverse civilizations and kingdoms. The Kingdom of Kush was succeeded by Christian kingdoms like Makuria. Makuria resisted Muslim expansion for centuries. The kingdom declined due to civil war and Arabic migration, giving rise to the Funj Sultanate. Horn of Africa. Islam spread among Somalis as the Aksumite Empire declined. The Zagwe dynasty emerged and built the famous rock-hewn churches. It was overthrown by the Solomonic dynasty, establishing the Ethiopian Empire. The Ajuran Sultanate dominated the Indian Ocean trade in the east. The Sahel saw the rise of the Ghana Empire, then the Gao Empire.
I, the King of Ghana.
The Almoravids captured Oudaghost, leading to Ghana's conversion to Islam. The Sasso kingdom was quickly overthrown by the powerful Mali Empire. Mali dominated the trans-Saharan trade in gold and salt. The Kanem Bornu Empire projected power eastward toward the House of Kingdoms. As Mali crumbled in the 15th century, the Songhai Empire became the dominant power. Various kingdoms flourished in West Africa's forest regions: Ife, Oyo, Nri, and Benin. European contact began with the Portuguese, marking the start of the Atlantic slave trade. The Congo Basin saw three main confederations of states. The Kingdom of Congo emerged as the dominant political entity in the region. The Empire of Kitera collapsed following the migrations of the Luo peoples. Swahili city-states thrived off the Indian Ocean trade, becoming centers of Islamic culture. Madagascar was settled by Austronesian peoples in the first millennium. Southern Africa saw the development of Mapila, Mapungubwe, Great Zimbabwe, and the Matapa Empire. North India was fragmented after the fall of the Gupta Empire, 550 CE. Early Muslim incursions began in the northwest with the Umayyad conquest of Sind, 711 CE. The military advance halted, but Islam still spread by way of Arab merchants. The 9th century saw the tripartite struggle for control among the Pratihara, Hala, and Rashtrakuta. South India was dominated by dynasties like the Chalukyas, Hoslas, and Cholas. Literature, architecture, sculpture, and art flourished under these great kings. Other important states included the Bahmani Sultanate and the Vijayanagara Empire. China was reunified by the Sui, leading to the golden age of the Tang dynasty, 618 to 907. This was a golden age of stability, prosperity, and poetry.
启杯耀明月，对影成三人。
The long-lasting imperial examination system selected officials based on merit. China competed with Tibet for control of Inner Asia. The Song dynasty reunified China, but faced continuous pressure from the northern Jurchens. The Jurchens took North China. Then the Mongols conquered all of China, 1279. Mongol Yuan rule ended with the rise of the native Han, Chinese Ming dynasty, 1368. Japan, imperial lineage established, a centralized state developed during the Yamato period. Buddhism was introduced along with strong Chinese cultural influence. The Heian period saw the peak of imperial power and the rise of the warrior class, samurai. Daimyo and shoguns dominated Japan until 1868, reducing the emperor's influence. The influential ukiyo-e art style arose, often depicting courtesans and actors. Korea, Silla unified the peninsula, ending the Three Kingdoms period. The later Three Kingdoms ended when Goguryeo unified the whole peninsula as the Goryeo dynasty, 936. Genghis Khan united the Mongol and Turkic tribes in 1206. The Mongol Empire became the largest contiguous land empire in history. After Monk Khan, 1259, the empire split into 4 successor khanates. Funan declined, replaced by the Great Khmer Empire, 802 CE. Angkor, the capital, was the largest city in the world at its peak. The Sukhothai and Ayutthaya kingdoms were major Thai powers, alongside the pagan empire in Myanmar. Islam arrived in Southeast Asia, starting in the 13th century and spread across Indonesia. Polynesians colonized the vast reaches of remote Oceania, including Hawaii and New Zealand. The Tui Tonga Empire expanded its influence across the region. North America saw the rise of the Mississippian culture, centered at Cahokia. Ancestral Puebloans built extensive, permanent settlements, some in cliff faces. In Mesoamerica, the Aztec Empire dominated much of the region from the 14th century. South America saw the rise of the Inca Empire, the largest pre-Columbian empire in the 15th century. The Inca were prosperous, known for their elaborate road systems and elegant stonework. 1,000 years of change, religious spread, and global conflict. From the Arabian desert to the Mongol steppe, from Gothic cathedrals to Maya pyramids. The post-classical period laid the essential foundations for our modern world. This is the history of humanity, our continuous, compelling journey. Next episode, Early Modern.